Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
My very great pleasure to welcome to the program yet again a gentleman who's been out and about and going slightly batty. A very good morning to Ralph McAlister.
And a good morning to you, sir. I was on the road at 7:30 this morning, something that I haven't done for about 3 or 4 years, and I couldn't believe the traffic was going south.
This is the real world.
Going north,
the real world. When we get to a certain stage of life, we can time our lives so we can miss most of that congestion, but it is so frustrating. I don't miss a minute of it. I went through 30 years of it working in Wellington, and it is not easy. So, Ralph, you were also in Wellington last night, I believe.
Oh, yes. I was in... It's quite a fun contrast, really, because my friend Jan Bolwell has just written another play. Well, she hasn't just written it. I've been working on it with for 6 months, and it's called Welcome to the Death Cafe. And it's all about, wait for it, euthanasia. And she's taken this hugely important topic and dramatized it with 5 very accomplished actors. And it was the opening night last night at Bats in Wellington. And, of course, as I'd had quite a lot to do with it, I am totally prejudiced. But it was a stunning evening. It's only an hour long. The theatre upstairs, the Globe, was absolutely packed, and it got a huge reception from people. It doesn't try to tell you what to think.
Yes.
It's not polemic in that sense or propagandistic. It's a sort of piece that gives different characters different attitudes, and by the end of the hour, it's only an hour long, with lots of dance and lots of fun and lots of seriousness. You probably make up your own mind again, or you might shift a bit. Like the impeachment process, you might change. But it was a very exciting evening. Nothing could have been more different than the pantomime, which I saw on opening night there, which I'll talk about to you if you wish.
Okay, I'd love to hear about the pantomime. It's quite a pantomime morning because we've got a local pantomime, mind you, one for grown-ups. We're going to be talking about on the next hour with Graham Stevens from Coasters Musical Theatre. And pantomimes, it's a very long tradition that's basically British, as I understand.
It's basically British, but you've got to understand that Circa has been doing this pantomime stint for at least 10 years. And the quite simple reason for it, John, is that it's their biggest money spinner of the year.
Wow.
It helps finance less popular shows. It gives the theatre enough money to keep the facilities going at a high level of performance. And not the theatre performances, just the actual lighting, the setting, the box office. And this is, as I say, their biggest money spinner. It'll be on for the next month, and then it will be revived in January. And it's Alice in Wonderland. And I reviewed it locally in the Kapiti Independent News. And what I thought really was that you could just go and see Gavin Rutherford, who plays Dame Marjorie Banks. That's her name. And she is trying to audition for Peter Jackson, and the Alice is actually Peter Jackson's niece, so he's trying to pursue Alice to get her to think about it. It's a totally crazy plot, but it's a very funny script. It's got 8 actors, 7 and the Dormouse, who's not quite physical, and it's very, very clever. For me, I took my 3 relations, one who is 18, one 15, and one 12, and the younger ones. Well, they all loved it, but I loved my Cameron's comments, a 12-year-old. He said, yes, he liked it, some of the jokes he didn't get, but then I didn't get some of the jokes either, so I could agree with him. But he finished by saying, the free food was super.
That's got a ring of authenticity about it. And great to hear the local wrinkles with Peter Jackson, etc., which is very local. He started off his film career with Super 8s up at Pukerua Bay, didn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You hit it on the nail on the head. You know.
Wonderful.
It's a good evening, and it's just it almost satisfies the two groups. You know, the
Yes.
children and the adults. Of course, there are things that some don't get, but I didn't notice much discomfort. My discomfort was with the sound. It was far too loud,
yeah.
and I thought, oh, it's just me because I'm so old. But in actual fact, some of the children in the audience were holding their ears drums as well. You know, they were having a bit of problem. But I'm sure that will be fixed by today. You know, they're performing every day except Monday, I think, for the next month, and it's going very well, I believe.
Excellent. Well, as you know, there's a little thing called a volume control, a little knob. It says VOL on the bottom, and you sort of turn it to the left, and I think that will get over that issue quite well. Wonderful.
I shall ring them immediately to tell them that piece of wisdom.
Excellent, Ralph. Thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations to you and Jan on that wonderful and so timely production at Bats.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to track that Jan Bowell down to have a chat with her on the wireless.
I think
machine,
because it's now a year away from the decision.
Yes,
this
indeed.
play will travel. I hope to get some backing from somewhere because it deserves to be seen around the country.
Ralph, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay.
Lovely. There we are. That is Ralph McAlister.
106.3 Beach FM.